Okay, so I'm in the Exchange here in Bristol, Old Market, lovely Sunday afternoon, and I'm chatting with Dale from Maleface. It's Maleface, isn't it?
Maleface. Maleface, you got it right the first time.
Excellent, okay, because there's nothing more embarrassing than mispronouncing the
No, we get it all the time, man. We just let people roll with it.
So where did the name come from, out of interest?
I have absolutely no idea. I think it was a previous drummer's brother that come up with it. I don't know, like... We've been going for like 10 years as a band, so there's been lots of things happened since then that make me forget.
So how long have you been with the band then?
From day one.
Oh right, so yeah, you came out of Reading, and Reading at the time, it still has always had quite a good music scene. I mean, bands like Terrakai and that are out of Reading, aren't they? So,
yeah.
How did you think that your local scene gave kind of... Did you get much support from the local scene to come through, or...?
Yeah, well, to be fair, like, there's lots of bands that come out of Reading, but there's nowhere to play. And I think that's kind of why Reading bands do really well, because it forces them to get out. You know, you don't really have a local scene to be playing every single week. So, the reason you see so many Reading bands, I mean, there's us, Exit 10, Viatrophy, Silosis, Rusha Record... they all come out and tour the UK. Do you know what I mean? So that's the main reason why Reading has got such a name, especially for metal these days.
Yeah. Okay, so you formed in 2003, 10 years ago. And it was after 3 years you released was it the rest of this Relentless?
Relentless, yeah.
That's right. How do you think the band's developed from there? Because you got your new album. Five, that's right, is due out imminent, isn't it?
Yep, it come out a couple of weeks ago now.
Oh, right,
so it just dropped.
I have to get hold of your record label to send me it, because I've only sent the single so far.
Oh, right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, how do you think the band's developed over, because you've got, say, 4 studio albums in your EP, how do you think you developed over that time?
I think it's been quite a natural progression of growing up, if that makes sense. Like, we released Relentless when we were like 16, 17. So like now we're 27. I mean, you think of like who someone is as a human at 16, 17 compared to like their late 20s. It's very different. I think our music kind of reflects that. We've gone through our angsty teenage years. We've gone through our like early 20s just wanting to get smashed all the time, and now we're kind of coming out of that. We still get smashed all the time, but we're a bit more mature, do you know what I mean? We've got, you've got bills to pay. We've been around the world a few times. We've seen everything. We've played everywhere, played with everyone. And I don't think we've really got anything else to prove, and I think that's what you hear on this record. It's us with no ties. We've got rid of all the negativity in this band, and it's just us as 5 guys and 5 musicians, like wearing our heart on our sleeves musically, playing exactly what we want to play. And because we've survived this long, we've almost earned the right to do whatever we want. And that's a really nice feeling to have. Like, the last 2 album cycles we hated, because we were still proving ourselves, still earning our dues. We've earned our dues now, and we've got our stripes, and it's kind of released us to flourish into the band that you hear on our latest record.
Yeah, you've changed labels, haven't you, from Metal Blade to Transcend. Was that a move for the best, or don't want to diss Metal Blade because I've got contacts there? So that,
that's cool. I'll never diss Metal Blade UK. Andy and Will are great guys, but the label's a joke. The label's a joke. It nearly buried us, and we're not the only band that's happened to.
But Transcend have got a really good reputation.
Transcend, great guys. The way you know you're on a good label is if I wanted something sorted now, I've got a number on my phone that I could get hold of someone and they would speak to me. And that is a good record label.
Yeah. Going back to your touring, so you've been all over the world. You've even played India.
Yeah.
Is that? On my show, I've actually sort of played Indian bands. What's the metal scene like out there?
It's absolutely enormous. Absolutely enormous. We had no idea, and we got there expecting to be playing to like a few people and a cow. Do you know what I mean? And there was like 10,000 kids there in Gorgoroth t-shirts, decapitated t-shirts. They knew their stuff. It wasn't just like Slipknot and like Iron Maiden, do you know what I mean? Like all the big heavy hitters, they knew their stuff, and it put a lot more pressure on us, to be fair, because we were like, you know, we can't blag this crowd. There's no way we can blag this crowd. These kids know what they're listening to. Like, we've got to be on it tonight. Not that we went out there to play crap or disrespect them at all, but you know, when you're that far away from home, we were playing open air, and it was like 38 degrees when we played, and that was at like 9 o'clock at night. 100% humidity, so the pressure was really on us, and that just heaped it on us even more. We were like, we're completely fish out of water, yet we've still got to be on our A game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is there any territories you haven't gone to yet? You would like to visit?
Asia, like Japan, China, and Australia. They're next on our list. But we never really had support out there. Like Blade didn't really do an awful lot out there, which is one of the main reasons we got with Transcend, because they wanted to push us in these markets. Because you know we've been touring every territory, and there's still a massive territory that hasn't even been dipped into, and that's obviously a big thing for a label, because they're like, you know, we may have been oversaturated in the UK or in some parts of Europe, whereas we can be broke in another territory. So that's something we're going to be working on.
Right, now, about a year ago, you released the Amiga single. Very interesting recording with Marcus. I've got to get this guy's name right. Hanneman.
Yep.
Well, no, he hasn't actually had any first team appearances for Everton, but he did for Wolves. He nailed the sound.
He was Reading. He was when Reading got promoted. This is the reason we chose Marcus, because we're from Reading. The season they broke all the records and got promoted into the Premier League, he was their number one.
You're a Reading fan, are you? Yeah.
No, not at all. Like we knew he was really into his metal, and Jägermeister wanted to pair us with a footballer, and they offered us Marcus Hanneman or Martin Skirtle, and I'm Chelsea, so I can't stand Liverpool, so I was like, I don't really want to work with Skirtle.
Yeah.
So give me Hanneman.
So what was he like to work with? Because he's a metalhead through and through.
Yeah, brilliant. Drinks whiskey like water. Terrifying the amount that man can drink. But great guy. We stayed in touch. We stay with him when we're on tour sometimes. Like he's gone back to Seattle now, but we would stay up in Liverpool with him, because he had like a massive house up there. So he'd always have us there, hang out with his kids. He got us shooting his kids with BB guns. It's the most random story we've had on tour. We wake up in a Premier League footballer's house, and he brings down this arsenal of BB guns. Like, it's like Call of Duty, but do you know what I mean? And there's kids, all of his kids are running around the gardens. We've got sniper rifles, everything. We're just wasting his kids.
Yeah. So, would you, because he's in focus on that single, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Could you see a career for him in metal after football's finished?
Not at all. Bless him. Nah, he did all right, man. He did all right. For someone, he was petrified doing it. And we had the Soccer AM guys down at the same time, so we like shot and changed for Soccer AM, and I think that added a bit more pressure on him because everyone was taking the mick. But he did well, man. He did well. His parts come out really well on the record. So we haven't gotten to do it live yet. Probably won't now. It's in Seattle, but.
Right, so you're currently touring with the Defiled.
Yep.
How's that going?
Nah, really good guys. We go back far too long. We're all getting a bit old now. So, yeah, it's been really good.
And how many dates you still got to do on the tour?
This is the last one for us. We drop off after today.
Well, definitely off what you just called them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what have you got planned for the foreseeable and going on over the next year or so?
Lots more touring. We've got a few little projects. We had a bit of a meeting today in a pub. That's where we like to do our business. We've discussed a few projects we're lining up with Maleface throughout the year, so we've got some interesting ideas.
And you doing any festivals this year?
We're only doing small ones this year. It's our first year in about 5. We haven't done a major festival. But with the whole, what we were doing with 5 and the rebrand, like we all cut our hair and stuff, and I don't think people really knew where we were going to take it, whether we were going to come out sounding like Lost Prophets or like Decapitated, do you know what I mean? So we pulled off the festivals this year because we've always done really good stages and really good slots. We've always been like second stages, main stages and stuff. And like Download this year, we wouldn't have got a look in because of the amount of amazing bands that are playing.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know, it was our turn to play Download this year because we do it every other year, and we were like, look, you know, maybe not this year. Rather than playing a festival for the sake of it, I'd actually like to play to punters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I start clashing with like crazy bands, I'm just like, look, what is the point?
Yeah, I know. My band, we did Guildfest a couple of years ago, and we had to go on the side stage just as the Dams were going on the main stage.
There you go.
We played to 60 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, as we're talking about the festivals and that, there's a very, very healthy metal scene in Britain at the moment. Probably healthy has been since the 1980s.
Yep.
There's the likes of You, Sacred Mother Tongue, Silosis, The Defiled. Yeah. Every week on the show I'm getting new stuff coming through from top-notch bands. Who are your tips to be, besides yourselves, to be the next Iron Maiden? And are there any underground bands who you're kind of nurturing?
I nurture a band called Chapters. I believe in them a lot. I'm not sure they'll ever like go on to be someone like Iron Maiden, but as far as British music goes, I think they write their album that I'm trying to get out at the moment is unbelievable, like really decent prog record. But as far as the next Iron Maiden, man, I think we've been there and done that. I don't think there's ever going to be a band like that ever again. Unfortunately, the consumers absolutely destroy the product. So, you know, you're never ever going to be selling millions and millions of records and having your own plane fly you all over. But you just named like a whole raft of bands that are doing our country proud, like not just nationally but internationally.
Yeah, sure.
And that's a great place to be. And that for me is what metal's all about. I prefer metal in the underground. We had a bit of a taste of when getting out of it, and I wasn't comfortable there. I didn't like it. It had to be a band that we weren't. It's full of pretentious arseholes, people trying to trip you up left, right and centre. I prefer being like on a tour like this with a bunch of lads, everyone's looking after each other, everyone's playing to the same people, everyone cares about each other. You haven't got people like Angela Gosso sitting in her dressing room, like taking our dressing room off of us and stuff like that because she wants a vocal warm-up room or do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's not what metal's about. Metal's about guys going out, having fun, partying, playing to people and connecting with an audience.
I've found that, some of the people that I've met on the road over the years, I've been in bands since I was 15,
yeah.
I'm 50 now. Some of the people I met on the road in my teens are still really good friends now. I still go and visit them and hang out with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We met like some of my really, really close friends we've met on tour. Like Nally from Chapters, the guys from Anteria, they're not around anymore.
They're a cracking band, they were.
Yeah, we met them on a bus. We had a bus share with them. Never met them before, and we shared a bus with them for 2 weeks. And like we see each other all the time now. Great guys.
Well, anyway, I better shoot because I want to catch the bar before I have to top off to my own stuff. Dale, it's been a great privilege chatting to you.
Thanks, mate.
And next time we're in town, maybe we can see and get you and all the guys in the studio for a more in-depth.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely.
Okay, that was. Cheers. That's brilliant, mate. Thanks.